Hello and welcome to another chapter of On Deck. Today we are at Arabian Lounge with my guest Zakiah Ebrahim. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Issy, for having me. It's such an honor.
It is my pleasure, dear. We've known each other for a while, haven't we?
Good couple years now.
Correct, correct.
And we were fortunate to have worked together.
Yes, yes.
Did a movie together. So I think that was our closest form of communication in the end.
Very good, very, very close, because you're one of my many TV wives.
Yes, indeed. How many TV wives have you had up until now?
Creepers. Well, I think about 2 or 3 so far that I can remember.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
I've had about 20 TV husbands.
Okay,
I've broken the record there.
Nice, nice.
But welcome to Arabian Lounge. Shall I say my new home and my new baby?
Yes.
We've opened recently to the public, and we offer a complete Arabian experience.
Nice.
So from good food, good vibe, great Arabic music, and so many other things that complement the experience.
Good. What made you get into this sector?
So I feel like the city of Durban has lots of options for food. I feel, however, that we sort of, what's the word? Lose the essence of fine dining here.
Yeah.
So my thought process stemmed from the fine dining aspect, that we do not offer many restaurants here that will offer you the complete fine dining experience.
Correct.
And therefore we decided to put exclusive, glamorous, all the nice things and luxurious together and combine it into a beautifully Arabic styled lounge.
Well, definitely, you've done it very nicely, from the decor.
Doesn't it feel like, have you been on a safari in Dubai?
I haven't been to Dubai yet. I went for pilgrimage in '97 though to Saudi.
Right, to Saudi. Have you been inside a Saudi tent?
Yes.
This is what it actually looks like with these fancy couches and the lighting. And so that's the kind of VIP experience that you get on this side of the restaurant.
Well, you definitely did it nicely. I love it. I like the little chandeliers.
Yes,
hanging.
they're beautiful. And, you know, most of the time when people come in here, as much as there's the aesthetic wall and there's the couches and whatever, they would normally start shooting from the actual lantern itself.
I love them. They're very, very nice. They're very beautiful. All righty. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your early life. Are you a Durban girl?
Yes. So I grew up in the very humble city of Phoenix.
Well, that's a beautiful place to be.
My schooling career was there as well. I finished madrasa there. And directly from school, I got into the retail market. So I only decided to study much later in life. So straight out of school, into the retail market, I worked for a massive retailer for almost 12 years of my life.
Okay.
And later on, I decided to then study. And I've just graduated last year.
Nice. Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
And that's how I got into the media field, because media was everything for me, and it was one of my biggest dreams. When I came out of retail, I was like, which way do I go? You know, you're looking for a business and you're looking for opportunity and you're thinking of everything that you want to do, but you're not sure where to start or how to do it. So that's where I was at that point in my life. I come from a very close-knit small family. Yeah. So, you know, getting advice from everybody was very limited because there wasn't too many people. So at that point, the advice that I got was from most of my friend circle, who said, listen, you've done modeling, you've done presenting, you've worked for radio, so you've already got media in a shell. And now you're completing your media science degree, so why not? And I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. So I started my modeling agency, Z Models International, officially 7.5 years ago.
Nice.
Okay, and when I started, it was something that I was so passionate about, that every moment of putting the brand together was an enjoyment and a memory for me till today. I started off empowering youth in communities at no cost. So which means we used to do modeling courses, and we used to do these little fashion shows where they got to be on the ramp and get the look and feel of being that model. And then we would move on to the grooming aspect and creating and bringing out the actual model in them. So Z Models International was my foundation for business. And 7.5 years later, we're now internationally recognized and acclaimed.
Nice. Well done. Congrats.
So we've had the option to work with many designers within the country. We've had the opportunity to work with designers in India, in Pakistan, and recently we've collaborated with someone in Dubai. I'm not going to give away too much. That's a surprise. So we've practically had the opportunity to work around the globe, I would say.
No, that's brilliant. It gives your models the experience as well to get
And
their
the
name out there.
exposure and the opportunity to go overseas, look at the market, because it's very different from South Africa.
Yeah.
And I think as a company, that's why we've attached international to our branding.
Correct.
Speaking of international, another very exciting project that we gave life to just a week ago at the isiZulu Theatre in Sabaya was the Netflix series Hira Mandi.
Okay.
We practically pulled out the fashion from the series, and we displayed it on a fashion stage.
Okay.
We got local designers involved in the entire process, so all of them could showcase their work as well.
So you're giving the local exposure.
The local exposure as well. So we teamed up with Sabah Collection as well as the Design of India, and they gave us a closet which actually looked a lot more than the Hira Mandi fashion statement in the series itself, combined with the heavy jewelry and the aesthetic looking ladies. The storyline highlighted on stage, it looked stunning.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant.
So we've launched that now in South Africa, and our launch was actually the first stage. And now we're looking forward to the major show which takes place in November this year.
Where are you going to host it?
We're looking at potential venues at this point in time. Might just be the ICC. I like to dream
Well, we
big.
can hope for it, and we'll definitely keep you in our prayers for that one. The ICC will be nice.
Please do.
Please let us know, and we'd love to see you there.
Well, I would like you to cover it, Issy, if that happens.
Definitely.
So, there we
We
go.
would love to cover it for you. That would be a great honor for us to do that with the show.
You. Thank you.
Okay. Which of your models are currently doing well at the moment for C Models? Who would you like to highlight and give them a shout out?
To be honest, I've got an excellent team of models. And our brand ambassador,
Yes.
Nuha Khan, is one of our stars at the moment. She's reaching for the stars. She's just starred in a 2-day production as the lead actress. She's heading out to a pageant in 2 weeks' time, which is Heart of South Africa.
Right.
And we wish her all the well for that. But, in the process, she's done the brand extremely proud with what she's done and what she's brought to the table. Apart from her, we've got Ria Singh, been with us for many years, who's now got her own modeling academy and dance academy as well,
done.
where she also coaches and teaches, and she's won herself multiple titles in the same breath. We've got some beautiful ladies making things happen. Zakiah Ebrahim, Zakira Sheikh, Zara Velodia. So many of them that I want to send a shout out to. Then we've got our amazing Christian Singh, all the way from India. He's now settled in South Africa. We've had one of our models that was from India, settled here in South Africa. He's moved back to India. So lots of people to talk about. The list
Your
is
youngest
endless.
model, and then going up to your oldest. What would the
My
age range
youngest
be?
model at the moment is 8 years old, and her name is Umiati. Very sweet little girl, and she definitely creates magical moments on the ramp.
Nice. We're talking about how to get someone new into the industry. As you said, you had started off your career before you had any qualifications.
Yes, correct. So I think the first requirement for wanting to do anything in life, whether it's media, whether it's marketing, whether it's getting into studies, or whether it's just a job that you want to prosper in, I think the passion is very necessary. And in my case, the passion was overflowing all the time. I always, growing up, used to be that person that if there's a function and somebody needed to give a speech, and I would be like, can I give a speech? Or can I be the MC? You know, and I think that's taken me and brought me to a stage where I'm confident enough to speak. And it also makes you want to do it because you know how to do it. All right. So I think the passion is the first thing that's very important.
Right.
The second thing is, if you feel like you want to be in a certain aspect of media, like radio, then I feel that you should send out, and this is what I did, I sent out an appeal on my CV saying that I'm inexperienced, but I have the passion and the devotion to want to be on radio and want to make it work. And that's how I got my first offer.
It's good. You made your way out there.
And I think anyone can do it. Because if you want something bad enough, you know, they say, or if you watch Bollywood movies, you know that Shah Rukh Khan once said, I'll say it in English, he said that if you want something really bad enough, then the entire universe starts to assist you in the process. So I think that's very valuable.
Yes, it is.
And I think it's very valuable advice. Take it and run with it.
Your favorite programs, which ones are you into at the moment? Seeing that you're getting into film these days, what's your favorite genre to start off with?
So I'm a big, or I would say a massive Bollywood fan. I love Bollywood movies. I love Bollywood series. I follow a lot of the soapies as well. But I've now found a keen interest in Pakistani dramas that I watch as well, and Turkish series as well. And you'll be surprised how much of fashion you pick up across all of these things.
Which your favorite, talking about fashion, your favorite sense of dressing? Because we can see you very nicely done, matching the couches. Even your phone cover matches your outfits.
You know, the strange thing is that I like fusion looks. So if I do a complete Western look, I'll throw on an Eastern earring or an Eastern nose ring, or my makeup will be very Eastern. Or if I wear an African outfit, I would throw in like a very Western makeup look or hair or something like that. But my fashion sense comes from the 90s and is inspired by the 90s, right? In the 90s, I believe that the Bollywood heroines, if you look at my hair, it looks very much like that. So I believe that the Bollywood heroines looked their best, and it was the best era of fashion, music, and movies. So a lot of my looks are inspired by that.
As much as I'd love to say I love Bollywood, but I don't speak the language,
Right.
so I couldn't get into it. But I do remember watching in the 80s as a kid.
Right.
I have no idea what the movie is called. No idea. It was this horror movie. It's the only Indian movie that I can actually remember watching from start to end, just like a normal, regular.
A horror movie and Bollywood in the 80s?
In the 80s.
Never heard of that.
I don't know what it was. I can just remember watching this thing. But that's the only Bollywood movie that I've ever watched in my life.
Okay.
And other than, what you call it, Papa Kete Hai, the song.
Okay, well, that was very popular.
That was way beyond in those days.
And I think all the youngsters took to that song very much.
It's
So.
still a beautiful song. Your favorite songstresses from
From the 90s.
From 90s and Indian songstresses?
So there was a specific movie in the 90s. It was a Shah Rukh Khan movie, and his co-star was Mahima Chaudhary. The movie was called Pardes, and the entire movie had awesome songs. But the one song that stood out for me was Ye Dil Deewana. And I realized that recently it's been trending on TikTok because you see that everybody's now making a song trend out of it. So yeah, that's my favorite song.
Nice. And who do you look up to as your idols or role models in life?
That's a tough question because I've really not the word is I've really not looked at anyone as a mentor. I've always looked at me challenging myself to whatever I needed to do. So I can safely say that I don't really have a role model at this stage or anyone that I look up to but my very own being and my very own self. It's probably quite a selfish answer, but it is.
No, if that works for you and that's what got you through, that's the right way. Your biggest challenge in life that you've overcome?
My biggest challenge in life has been fear. I used to be this very scared individual that always procrastinated anything that I wanted to do. And life has put me into situations that have forced me to overcome that. You know, I've always had this fear of being alone, and I've always had this fear of, you know, all your friends just deserting you and going overseas, and you're left alone in your country, not having family members around you. And to a point where in life I went into depression for 2 years, right? You know, we all go through things. We all deal with things, you know, and this was one of my
ups and
cycles.
downs of life.
That's it. This is one of my cycles that really took me down in life. And in that period of time, I realized that your mind and your heart have got a vein that connects you both. Okay? And when people say think with your heart and not your mind, I don't know how they say that, because both of them are completely linked off. So during my years of depression, I took a lot of time, because 2 years is a long time to be down and out. And in that time, I used to reflect on everything that I was afraid of. I used to reflect on everything that I was afraid of challenging myself to. And I faced those fears one by one. Each day took on a different fear, wrote it down. How am I going to deal with it? How am I going to overcome it? And 2 years later, I overcame my entire cycle of depression.
That's not an easy thing to do.
Not at all.
To overcome depression.
And I won't sit here and say that it was easy.
Correct. No one can ever say depression is easy. It's you have to have real guts to get it done. And
definitely. And you know, sometimes we talk about just being depressed and just going through depression, but in that state of depression, there's so many other things that you go through. You deal with anxiety, different types of anxiety. You deal with mood swings, you deal with irregular sleep patterns that even after your depression, well, I went through depression, I would say 8-9 years ago, and till now my sleep patterns are very affected by that. So it's something that I would say nobody should allow themselves. It's a stage that no one should allow themselves to get into.
But you've overcome it, and that's the main thing. So got to give people a lot of credit for that, because depression it affects a lot of people.
And mind you, I did it by myself.
It's not easy.
No assistance, no medical assistance either. It was just me reflecting on myself. And that is one of the reasons why I say that I feel like I don't have a role model or a mentor. Because I feel like I faced and I overcame within my soul reach.
The happiest time that you've had thus far in life, where would you go with that? Or the best point in your life?
The best point in my life was when I did my first big fashion show. This was 6 years ago. It was at Suncoast at the Globe. And, you know, my team used to always say to me, you always put us on the stage, but you never take the recognition of the show. And I remember I was having a chat with my team backstage that day, and they said, this is the day that you should take the stage as the choreographer. And I said, no, you know, I don't feel like I'm ready. And they said, no, but you are ready. So eventually we informed the MC that at the end of the show, I will be taking the stage. And I would need to be introduced as the CEO of the company and, you know, as the choreographer of the show. And that glitzy, glamorous moment for me has now become an addiction.
It's good, I'm glad you took it, because we all need a little bit of recognition for the work that we do.
100%.
And it helps us to get onto that next point as well.
100%.
Gives you so much of confidence to just get something produced and the creative juices flowing.
Yes.
Those that are not in the industry and are not part
Will
of the
not
creators
understand,
will
right?
not understand that.
Definitely.
You go through these periods and you try to get things done, but it just doesn't
You know,
come
there are
out.
nights where I just can't sleep and I'm like, okay, let's develop a concept fashion show. And, you know, it's amazing the type of ideas that you can pen to paper at that hour,
Correct.
you know. So I do those things now and
Especially if you're
again.
sitting there, and when that drive hits you and those juices start to flow, you have to get it done at that specific point in time.
But again, that stems from the passion that you have for your industry.
Going back to what you started off with.
Yes.
Because when that creative spark hits you, if you stop it in the middle and if you have to do something else, all that thought, the train of thought that you had coming
Yes.
through, it just disappears.
Definitely.
It just goes.
Definitely.
But yes. How do you go from loving media into restaurants? I take it you're a good cook yourself.
Excellent question. Excellent question. So, before I studied media, I became a chef.
Nice. Was it mom's teaching from them days with
It
culture?
was actually Granny. My nanny was an excellent cook, and I grew up living with my grandparents.
Nice.
So, from being little, I used to experiment. You know, I used to watch my granny, and she used to do fantastic things. So the inspiration came from there, and I started cooking at a young age. However, when I decided, I applied for a bursary actually,
Right.
initially, and I got turned down, and I then had to pay for my studies on my own.
So you're qualified chef. You
Qualified,
nice.
studied at the International Hotel School.
Okay.
Not something I talk about very often, but yeah, it is what it is.
nice. Because it's two totally different fields. Well,
Yes. So you do know that being Muslim, the halal factor is absolutely important.
is a major thing, correct? Yes.
Amazing thing. And at that time, when I graduated, I was put into hotels that actually served non-halal products, and sort of I had to work with it. So it made me a little bit uncomfortable, and I closed the door on my chefing.
Because I don't think thinking about it now, I don't think there's a lot of restaurants that would be able to cater for a strictly.
Exactly, and overseas as well, there's no real halal market for chefs. So,
They normally cook with alcohol into the food. And
but apparently recently there's some sort of arrangement that has come up. But all those years down the line, when I was ready to do it, it was not an option.
correct, so it does make it a bit difficult to continue with that line of work. But you made it for yourself a few years later.
A few years later, yes.
Where are you going to next? Overseas? Planning to travel?
Yes. So my first plan is to complete Umrah, inshallah,
Inshallah.
a year or two from now. My second pilgrimage, I would say, would be to Karbala
Right.
in Iraq. And I think I would then holiday my way through wherever else I would want to go.
Nice. Major phobias. What's your major phobias? Little things, because I can tell you mine. It's
I'm going to say to you, guess the phobia.
well, I'll start off. Should we say any insects, roaches?
No, none of those things.
That's a difficult one then.
Okay. Jinns and evil spirits.
Okay. You're going down that route. You're going the spiritual routes.
I normally don't like to say this because I don't know which one of my friends are watching the interview and they decide to turn up like an evil spirit get up or something, you know. So
No, I'm terrible like that. I love scaring people, terrifying them.
it's so scary.
I think maybe that's why the ex decided to say get rid of me, because I used to love me hiding around the wall and then just waiting for. And she's one of these skittish people,
Right.
so anything you do is just like scares her.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I taught that to my little one as well.
Right.
So he takes advantage of it as well. And you get the gratification that you get from it.
It's
when
something
you,
I'm sure, especially if someone gets.
she enjoys it as well now that she learns.
There we go.
She
Mission
enjoys it as well.
accomplished.
Yes. But we'd like to thank you very much for everything that you've done. You've given us your time. We know you've got a very busy schedule, so I don't think we want to take up too much more of your time, Zakiah.
Issy, I want to also say thank you to you and your team for coming through, giving me this opportunity to be on your show. And, I think we discussed having this a while ago, and my schedule didn't allow for it.
Correct, yes.
And it's so strange that the schedule is busier now, but I guess this was meant to be.
Correct. We always make it happen. When it's the right time to happen, it will happen.
I guess. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I would like to leave you with something that I've taken a lot from, and that is that you should always follow your passions. Always pursue them, follow them, and give them your best shot. It's the only way that you will prosper and attain the success that you're looking for.
Definitely, I do appreciate it.
And I think the only thing that stops you from attaining those are challenges. So learn to solve them as well.
Correct. Challenges are always meant to be overcome. Thank you so much for all your time. We do appreciate it. And for Z Models, how would people get in contact with you to?
So we've got our pages all over social media. We've got contact details on our social media pages as well. It's in our Instagram, our Facebook, as well as our TikTok.
Yeah.
And most of our adverts have got my number on it as well. We've got a WhatsApp that directly connects you to me.
All
So
right.
every person that wants to join the company will have that personal interaction with me.
Your Instagram handle, what would it be?
At Z Models International. @_Z Models International.
Much appreciated. Any other ones that you want to use? Instagram, Facebook?
Facebook is Z Models International, and TikTok is Z Models International as well.
There we go. So you're keeping them all unified. Makes it much
Very
easier
much.
for
I
people.
like it to be unified.
The same way I work, I love to keep things unified. So you just give a person one thing for all your handles.
Yes, correct.
So yeah. Thank you again, Zakiah. We do appreciate your time and
Most
efforts,
welcome.
and hope we will see you prosper further in life.
The same wishes for you and your team as well.
Thank you so much.